Good day and welcome back. So the next two episodes we'd be doing something a little different. I have two helicopters which I don't usually do, and they're both in 172 scale. So this would be the first one, and then I'd be covering the next in another episode. So yeah, let's get to it. So this is the Academy AH-64A in 172 scale. And if I'm not mistaken, this is about the first kit down their line of AH-64, or basically Apache product line. And this particular kit comes with only one marking, which is the marking for a unit in the Israel Air Force. So as you can see here, that's the Star of David. And anyway, I'd be getting into specifics later. So as usual, we'd be taking a look at the parts and the sprues inside. So firstly, we have these two sprues, and as you can see from the get-go, this is the fuselage already, both the left and the right side. And now you could see that the tail landing gear is already molded in, so that's basically one whole piece right there. So do exercise a lot of caution when working around this area to avoid breaking this off. And on closer inspection, you could see a fair amount of detailing on the surface. The holes here, well, you'd be attaching a lot of external parts, but so far it does look pretty good. I am not an aircraft or a helicopter person, so I think this is fairly well detailed. So yeah, that's for the fuselage. And then next we have here weaponry stations, as well as the tail wing, and then these ones would be the wings that are attached to the side where the weapon pylons would go. And then here are the parts that go here on this side. Excuse me for the lack of proper terms, I'm not really a helicopter guy. So yeah, this would be the cockpit, and then this is the under panel where the gun is attached to. So this panel right here goes beneath this area. And yeah, most of the parts here would be for the exterior. And then if I'm not mistaken, this one right here would be this like sensors and cameras that are attached to the front end of the Apache. So then we have these other ones right here. And as you can see, here are the main rotors. And this is the tail rotor set here. And then the landing gear for the front of the helicopter. And this is the part that would hold the rotors together. And all these right here are the missiles that go into the weapon pylon. Down over here you can see the machine gun that goes beneath the Apache. So this kit in particular does have a little extra, which is this part. For the recent Apaches, you could see that they have this like circular bulbous thing on top of the main rotor, which is this. It's like an additional sensor. And supposedly the AH-64A, or around the initial productions, did not have this longbow system. Well, that's basically how the Apaches were later on called when this sensor was attached, the Apache longbow. So initially they didn't have this system, and you just see a straight tower. Going back to the box, you could just see this piece right here. So if you add this, it becomes a longbow, and it is noted down here in the box, contains optional parts to build as normal type or MSIP, or the longbow. So So if you're gonna do this as is, using the Israeli markings, I did see some pictures of them having both the normal type and also the one with the longbow. But if I'm not mistaken, the longbow was used more with the 64D. I would have to check up on that yet again. But yeah, if you want to build this as is, you could leave this off, but if not, you can also add that in and use other markings. So next off we have here is the canopy. I didn't bother taking it out of the plastic just to avoid it getting scratched. But as you can see right there, fair amount of detailing. Oops. Fair amount of detailing for the canopy. And I genuinely hope that the fit is well. Last thing I need is to try and fit this onto the fuselage and it won't really sit flush, and that's gonna be problems. So yeah, that's it for these two sprues. Next off we have here the decals, and upon closer inspection you can see that a lot of the decals here, this side would be for the cockpit detailing. So I guess you can paint the interior first with the base color and then add these decals for further detailing. That, or you could just hand paint it. The next would be the markings for the side of the Apache. So do be careful when putting these on as not to interchange them. And then the rest of these go in and around the helicopter for more details. Alright, moving on to the next. And last but not the least would be the instruction manual. And here are the color callouts: flat black, silver, gunmetal, and olive drab. Now the Israeli markings used here, I haven't done quite a lot of background research on it, but these two, or it seems to be a generic setup for Israeli markings, and you could do the olive drab color, which was the initial paint scheme, and then the Israeli Air Force did move on to their own kind of camo scheme. So that's like a shade of brown, like 2 shades of brown, something like that. So you can do that, or you can also just use the official Israeli camo scheme. So looking there, you can see the assembly for the cockpit. There are decals that go in there. Also another decal over there. And then for the fuselage assembly, you can see that the cockpit goes in here, and then other parts attaching to the bottom, so on and so forth. Then the assembly of the weapon pylon, the longbow, the wings. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Here we have, like, if I'm not mistaken, this would probably be the exhaust units for the helicopter. This would be the sensors that go around the front of the Apache. And as you can see right there, the canopy ideally would already go in, and then you could just like paint it over, mask it off, something like that. But I think if you want to achieve some nice detail, you would go ahead and paint this cockpit area first, paint it, detail it, before sealing it off with the canopy. Then next we have the bottom panel, like I said, the landing gear, and then also the machine gun. Okay, so glad I saw this. These are actually alternative parts or alternative weapons for the Apache. So you saw here that you saw here that it carries missiles. I think this is supposed to be anti-tank missile, something similar to a Stinger, but I don't think it is specifically a Stinger. But yeah, the Apache does have a mixture of weapons, so they use Hellfire missiles and yeah, a mixture of missiles, and then unguided 70mm rockets. And then this is the tube right here for the rockets. I think this is the 70 millimeter, which is unguided, and then this would be the Hellfire. Do correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, other parts and assemblies, then the main rotors, and they all come together as this piece. So as I said, you can attach alternative weapons, so you can use all missiles right there or make it a complete assortment. So here would be the coloring and decal callout. So all of this would be olive drab, and then just follow on along with the decals. Alright, so that's it for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a thumbs up. But if you didn't, leave a thumbs down. And let me know down in the comments below what you think of this. If it's something you built or something that would probably interest you in the future, or any feedback in general. Next episode, we'd be taking a look at the Hobby Boss UH Tiger, or Tiger UHT. It's basically the German version of the Eurocopter. So as always, stay safe, keep modeling, and until next time, goodbye.